Oh, hi, it's Ken Ham here again, and I'm with Ray Comfort. Ray from Living Waters. Did I just talk to you before?
Yes, we had a chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. I remember talking to you before. Anyway, we're down here at this new exhibit. Wanted to give people a bit of a look at this new exhibit, so let's walk through.
Yeah.
It's called Christ Cross Consummation, and the artwork is absolutely stunning, as you can see in here. So as we come over here, we say, "Hey, Travis, could you come over here for a moment?" And this is a very unique picture here of the Nativity.
Yeah.
And tell us how you did all this stunning artwork here.
Well,
there's another one here, the announcement to the shepherds, and we'll see some more here in a moment.
Yeah, it was a collaborative effort with myself, Dan Ioka, and Greg Ioka, his brother, and the three of us worked on all the artwork here. We would start on 3 pieces at once, and then we would switch them, so we're all working on each other's artwork. So it's a little different doing
It's
it
a different concept.
Yeah.
It turned out very unique, didn't it?
Yeah, it made it so that none of our styles were too prominent, and it allowed us to get the deadline.
I've never seen a Nativity looking quite like that one.
Yeah,
it's
One
really
of the things we did was really put a lot of historical research into this. So this really is the first century as it would have been. So usually you see.
So you just didn't just paint a picture.
Right. This is not just Bible times. This is specifically to the first century. Yeah.
Did you use models?
We did. Actually, we shot a lot of references between the three of us.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll appreciate me saying this, but Greg posed for Mary and Ben posed for Joseph. But we're artists, so we're able to change that and just use it for lighting references. But
that's funny. That's brilliant. I love the tone and the look of it. It's just it's classical.
I'm glad.
And one of my favorite ones, right over here, is when Jesus casts the demons into the pigs. Come over here and have a look. And the one of Jesus walking on water. So we'll come over here. Maybe, Travis, you could come over here with us as one of the artists. So Jesus had, you notice how it goes through the teachings of Jesus. We start in Genesis and we go right through in the life of Christ. So the gospel does start in Genesis, as you know, with the entrance of sin and death and the promise of the Savior right there. This is one of my favorites here. Jesus walking on water, Jesus healing the blind man.
Always wondered how deep his feet went into the water, and now we can see.
Yeah, exactly. And then Lazarus here, the raising of Lazarus from the dead. That one. And there's one of my favorites, because I don't think I've ever seen. Have you ever seen a painting of the pigs going into the sea and drowning?
No, it was a real fun one to paint.
There's a lot of ham going down.
Oh, yeah. Thank you, Ray. So there we are. And then comes to the sacrifice of the Savior. So we have the scene on the cross. So let's move over here. So people can see this. It's all stunning new artwork. So it's all original artwork by these 3 artists that we have here. And Travis, I'll get you to take that microphone there for me. And then here we talk about the triumphal entry and the cleansing the temple and the Last Supper. And I mean, it really does follow through, right from Genesis through and then the life of Christ, and really explains the gospel in detail.
I love the cleansing of the temple. It takes away the Jesus meek and mild image of him and shows the manliness and strength of character. Exactly.
And here we have the rolling away of the stone. And of course, if Christ cannot raise from the dead, our faith is in vain, right? And
wow,
I know your heart, Ray, is to see people saved, one of the Lord, and you do a lot of confronting of firmly but nicely of atheists and others, and getting the gospel out to them.
Well, we love them. They don't realize that, but we love them. We care about where they spend eternity.
Yeah, they think we, because we don't agree with someone, that we hate them, and that's not true, is it?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, so we want atheists to come to know the Lord, and all they have to do is listen to their conscience, the work of the Lord written on their heart, the inner knowledge of right and wrong, plus the knowledge of God. There's no such thing as an atheist. They're without excuse.
Right.
You know, the invisible things from the creation of the world are clearly seen, so we just want them to be saved.
Romans 1 says that. And this one over here, the lake of fire, what is that one, Travis?
That is John getting the vision of the lake of fire, and then the next one is John seeing.
You know, even today, Ray, do you find there are some pastors that either don't believe in hell or don't want to even talk about hell? They think doing so is unloving.
Many of our popular preachers should have been electricians or plumbers and not men of God in the pulpit. They're motivational speakers. They're afraid to talk about hell and God's justice and his righteousness, but the cross makes no sense. They don't even preach the cross or repentance and faith. When you drop the character of God, push Genesis out the door, then you've got nothing.
Right. Right. And so then we come around to first Adam, last Adam. And, you know, the first Adam by one man brought sin and death into the world. And through the last Adam, through Christ's death, it brought life. And so here we have the comparison here. The message of the Creation Museum can be summarized by looking at the first Adam and the last Adam. God created a perfect world, no death, no disease, no suffering. Then he gave the first Adam authority over it. When Adam rebelled against his creator, he brought God's judgment of death, suffering, and curse upon this world. And like the first Adam, we have all sinned against God. Consequently, we all deserve the penalty for our sin, death and condemnation. Could you read the last Adam for us, Ray?
Jesus Christ is the last Adam. He came to redeem what the first Adam had destroyed. As the first Adam brought death into this world through his sin, the last Adam came to live a sinless life, die on a cross to pay for our sins, and conquer death by rising from the grave. One day he'll return and put an end to death, disease, suffering, and the curse. All who have received his forgiveness will dwell eternally with him in the new heavens and the new earth.
And Travis, when you're painting, you must have some interesting decisions to make, because we know Adam and Eve didn't wear clothes to start with.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what went into even a painting like this? You had to do, because we live in a fallen world.
Yeah.
So we have
Obviously,
to.
we didn't shoot a model for that. It was kind of a, you know, hodgepodge of different things. But yeah, we really have to take that into account and, you know, put our strategically placed bush there, and you know.
And Eve with long hair.
Yes, exactly.
Because we live in a fallen world, and now we have fallen eyes, and so yet we're depicting the pre-fall world, and so you have to do it in a very sensitive way, don't we?
Yeah, because we have a lot of families that come through here, and you can't really.
You have to be careful what we do. And it's the same down the ark, you know, some of those dioramas. You saw those dioramas today of the pre-flood world. And,
Yes, I saw them all dancing around.
The Colosseum and so on.
Yeah.
I mean, we wanted to depict the evil world before the flood, and yet
Right.
you had to do it in a very sensitive way.
Exactly. Yeah, you want to show the truth and the honesty behind it, and not
Right.
compromise that. You know, God is a holy God and judges the whole world. So, yeah, balancing honesty with a family-friendly park is an interesting challenge.
It's an interesting challenge. I appreciate you guys. You're so talented. There's another one of my favorites, the Ascension. See that one over there? And just absolutely phenomenal. And you guys are just so talented.
Thank you.
And when you look at all that's been done in the Creation Museum and all that's been done in the art, the artwork, and the talent.
It was a really, really cool project to work on this.
What's the hardest thing to paint?
They all kind of have their own challenges. I mean, a lot of us, you know, haven't done a whole lot with water or maybe fire or something like that. So,
Yeah.
you know, each of us have our strengths and weaknesses, and that's what was really beautiful about working as a team like that.
You have trouble doing hands?
Not too bad.
I can't even draw a stick figure hand. I'm not kidding. I just don't, it just, yeah. So I admire guys that can create, and it really shows that we're made in the image of God. You imagine and then you create something like this. It's so exciting.
It takes a lot of practice.
The Lord gave me a gift of communication. You got a gift of communication.
Yes, I don't know what you mean. Could you explain it?
And this is Ray Comfort. This is Ray Comfort being Ray Comfort. And he didn't make me to be an artist, that's for sure. But he gifted Travis and Ben and Greg and the others, Kristen, all the others that we have.
Yeah.
He gifted them a special way. So I want you to get a little glimpse at some of their stunning artwork and just this new exhibit that's opening up. And I know it's my heart, it's Ray Comfort's heart, that we present the gospel, and we've never, ever shied away from that at the Creation Museum or the Ark. And you know what? There are lots of non-Christians who come here and they love the sensitive way we produce it. They love to see the quality, and it ministers to them. It really does. And probably 30% or more that go to the Ark are non-Christian, we found out. And they love us.
Today, while you were looking at stuff, I sat next to a lady. Her name was Jean. She was 89. And I chatted, and I said to her, "You're reading your Bible?" She says, "Oh, no. I says, "Have you been born again?" "No." And I said, "You're a good person?" "Absolutely." So I took her through the commandments and shared the cross with her. And this is a wonderful place. You've got non-Christians or people who have got a form of godliness, and it's a great place to... You've got the subject brought up.
Right.
You know, it's not difficult to say, how's your walk with the Lord? So it was a wonderful opportunity. She was 89 years old.
Wow. I'm so glad you're able to share that with her. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, thanks to Ray Comfort for coming out all the way from California,
All the way from California.
out here to northern Kentucky, and we're going to have a special dinner tonight, actually. And $75 a head. I hope you paid.
Well, if it's $75 per head, what does the rest of the body cost?
This is a special high-end dinner for our supporters who want to come and celebrate with us for our 10-year anniversary of the opening of the Creation Museum. You know, it's interesting. The atheists were saying it'll fail within 1 or 2 years. I'll close it down. Nobody's going to come.
Yes.
And there are even some people in churches saying it's going to be a white elephant. It's not going to work. And look how successful it is. Actually, right now,
It was packed in the Ark today. Packed with people.
yeah. And it was packed here at the Creation
Yes.
Museum. Buses and cars everywhere.
And it's a Friday. It's not even a Saturday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the attendance at the Creation Museum has tripled since the opening of the Ark. Absolutely amazing. And it's just going to continue to get bigger and bigger, and we're going to continue to expand here.
And God bless the atheists for giving you publicity all over the place.
Oh, they have done for years and years and
Yes,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, we're going to end off this Facebook Live and get to our... Did you know we're having salmon and filet mignon?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
Well, that's what I'm having. I'm not sure what they're giving you.
I'm having cereal.
They might be giving you that. If you didn't pay your money, they might be giving you that. Okay, we're going to sign off here from the Creation Museum.